Hello, good evening, welcome to DTCC Season 7 Round 5. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Wait for a few more people to join. If you're watching, please say hello in the chat. Good evening, Mika. Comms coming through okay? I have everything switched off so I can't hear myself. Great stuff. Right, so welcome to Spa. After the shenanigans we had in the Radicals at Goodwood, this is back to the usual format of the Group 4s and the Group 3s, and this time we're at Spa-Francorchamps. The legend that is Spa. I've got bad hay fever tonight, so I will apologise up front. I'll probably sound even more nasally than usual. Right, so back to the usual format of the Group 4s and the Group 3s. We will run down the grid for the Group 4s, have a look at what tyres people have chosen. Mika says, don't focus on the idiot that forgets the brakes when on a hill start. Okay. Alright, look out for some jump starts. Right, so, usual format for the Group 4s. Qualify on either mediums or softs, and then race on the opposite tyre. So, let's have a look to see who's using what. So, and also as usual, the top 5 in qualifying go to the back of the grid in reverse order. So 6th in qualifying, therefore on pole. So missing out on the bonus points for qualifying is Matt. He in his Chevy. He's on softs. 2nd on the grid is James in his 2nd race with DTCC. He is on softs as well, and then making his debut with us tonight is Chris in the Aston. Jumped in last minute, first race with us, so welcome Chris. He's 3rd in the Aston on softs. Then Dan is on mediums in his Mercedes. This is really bad views. Carly is 5th in the Porsche, also on softs. Looks like softs is a popular choice here. Then we go into the reverse grid order. So 5th in qualifying, 6th on the grid is Daz in his Nissan, and then Alex 4th in qualifying, 7th on the grid is Lambo. Dan was 3rd, so he's 8th. He's on mediums as well, so he obviously used softs in qualifying. And Chris, championship leader, he's 9th. He was 2nd in qualifying, so he's on softs. And then Andy, obviously used softs for qualifying and put it on pole. Fastest in qualifying, so he gets the full 6 points for qualifying. But he's elected to use mediums in the race, which will be interesting. So there we have it. That's the grid. We will get set for 6 laps around Spa. Here we go. It's on the 24-hour version of the track, which means they start on the opposite side to the pits, to the F1 usual start. So the first corner is Eau Rouge rather than the Source, which means it's a drag race up to the top of the hill at Le Combe. Right, so here we go. Waiting for the lights to go 5 and then go off. Who's going to get the best start? And Mika has predicted a little bit of a jump start in the Porsche, and then gets penalised, whilst Matt gets a good start. We come streaming down the hill into Eau Rouge. Here we go as we go through. Look at that as they go up the hill. What a glorious sight that is. Carly unfortunately got a bad start, so she's down to last, but Matt is leading, but he's got James right behind him. Is James in the Genesis going to get a move done? It looks like we've got battle for 3rd as well. I think Matt is defending as we go into Le Combe for the first time. It looks like Chris and Dan are having a bit of battle. It looks like it's going to be 3 ways. We go into Le Combe for the first time. Dan makes a nice move down the inside, and then we've got 3-way into the as we come out of Le Combe. Look at this, we've got Chris, Dan and Chris all in a Yeah, line of stand. Dan's got a little bit wide. I think he gets away with it though. As they go into, I think this is Brussels, this corner. Chris has been bundled down to 6th. As we go into the corner of No Name, then we've got a battle. There's Andy, he's made up some places already, he's up to 7th. Alex is down to 8th. Carly's made up a place, but he's battling now with Dan as we come into Puon. Up front though, we've got Matt has taken the lead. He's got a nice little gap, I think, already. As he's opened up, yes he has, as they go through Puon, first time. James doing a good job in the second. And there's Daz with a great start in 3rd. He's got the championship leader Chris right behind him, and a bit of squealing going on. Was anything going on? Dan's in 5th with Chris right behind him in 6th. Andy is still in 7th, but he's got Alex right behind him in 8th. There's Alex, and Dan and Carly are having a battle right up front. Matt has got a bit of a break, but it looks like we've got a bit of a battle here. Little's GP is right on the tail of Daz. This is what Daz can see out of his rearview mirror. Looks like Little's GP is going to make a move into Blanchimont. That is brave, but he's on the inside. Has he got that move done? It goes a little bit wide. Oh, a bit of paint swapping as they go through. Blanchimont, and Daz has to go wide, but he's still in it. Can he make the move down? Let's go on board. Can we see Chris? There is Chris as they break for the bus stop for the first time. Looks like we've got, yeah, nice bit of racing between the pair of them. So Daz completes lap 1 in 3rd. Little's GP is still in 4th. So they come into the source for the first time. A move's going to go. Looks like the first 2 have got a little bit of a gap. No, as we go through, and there's Carly and Dan. So Matt is away. Got a bit of a lead now. As they go down the hill into Eau Rouge, there comes James chasing him down. There's Daz, always got Chris a lot off. It was alongside him. I thought he was going to do a Alonso Ricardo move there, but is he going to get a move? They come up over the hill. Looks like there's a bit of a gap there. So let's see what else is going on. They stream up the hill. It looks like Alex might have a go at. He's going to have a go past the Audi. He is indeed. There we go. We go past the Audi. Is he going to try and get the Mitsubishi as well? He does. Look at this. What a move by Alex. The guy runs a bit wide, covers the outside, but Andy looks like he's going to try and make a move around the outside back. And then Dan's trying to pick up the pieces as well in the Evo. Doesn't get a sniff of a place there, but he might have a try down into Brussels, which is a very hard corner to pass on. I always get that name wrong. I think it's Brussels. Let me get the track map up. Yeah, something like that. Right. Oh, Andy's got a little bit wide. That's going to give Alex a bit of a run, I think, as they come. Andy's got onto the curb, which is dangerous coming out of that corner of No Name. So Alex moves up, and it looks like we've missed a spot there. Let's go back. Chris has got past. Let's see how he got past Daz. Whilst we're watching the shenanigans going on in the 6th. Looks like he makes a move down the inside the Puons. That's a nice move. They go alongside each other through Puon. That's great. Look at this racing. And we've got the move done. Let's go in. Let's go watch that in car actually. That's a nice bit of racing between Daz and Chris. It's not a usual passing place. There we go. Go alongside each other through Puon. Nicely done. We watch then Daz waves the Mustang goodbye. In the meantime, we've got Chris now chasing us down. In the very fast Aston. In the meantime, we've got a move going on here. What's going on here? We've got Dan and Andy. Oh, Dan's lay on the brakes. Andy gets a bit of understeer. They come through. I'm not sure what that corner's called. I should know that. Through the chicane. Campus. Right, so Dan keeps hold of 7th. Or did he pass him? Oh, let's go back. Oh, he gets that. So a good move from Dan. Hold to the inside, nice bit of racing between the pair of them. Right, so look up front. Matt has still got a little bit of a lead. James is doing a good job in 2nd though, his 2nd race. And we got Chris is now up to 3rd. What can he do about the 2 leaders? And we got Daz and Chris having a good battle. And as we come into the bus stop, let's go on board with Chris. And a bit of a short shift there, got a little bit of curb. Can he make a move into the bus stop? And for the back off on this hand, looks like Chris is going to get a nice run as we come out of this bus stop. And into the source we go, neck and neck. Who's going to break latest? Chris has got the race in line, but Daz is on the inside. Oh, look at this. Daz just noses ahead. But Chris going to get a switch back? I think he does. Look at that. There he goes. What can Daz see as we go down the hill? So we're already onto lap 3. Let's watch from Daz as we go up through Eau Rouge. Over top of Radion. This is what Chris can see in his rear view mirror. Daz is going to make a move as we go along the Kemmel Straight. It's so close. Can you see from the roof cam of Daz's car? He tries to make a move, but not quite. They're alongside each other. Chris is giving him room. This is good racing and seeing all the background. We can see Alex is catching these guys up, thinking, I might be able to make something out of this. Daz is going to make a move down into Russell's. I don't think so. That's good racing between them. And then we've got Dan and Andy having a battle. Andy looks like he's going to try and make a move down the inside. Both run a little bit wide, but looks like Andy's got it. Nice move, no contact. It's what we like to see in DTCC. So Andy's up to 7th. He's probably hoping that his mediums are going to... there's a definite crossover point where the mediums become quicker than the softs. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. Dan is also on the mediums. Keep an eye on their lap times. So up front, what's going on? So Matt has now got a little bit of a lead, and then it looks like Chris is all over the back of James, trying to find a way through. And then behind there, we've got a battle still going on between Daz and Chris as well. So let's just watch from Chris's perspective, all over the back of Genesis. Another slice is even. Oh, good racing, please, guys. Yeah, it was some good racing. So into Blanchimont we go. Yeah, a bit of a lift. It's wise, I think, from Chris. Let's go from the roof of the Genesis. Is Chris going to make a move down the inside? Is James going to cover the inside? I think he does, but it looks like Chris is going to make a dive down the inside. Is he going to get that stick? Yes, he does. Nicely done. Very clean. It's what we like to see. And then a bit further back, we've got Daz and Chris still going. There's Andy coming into the bus stop as well. Alex has just completed lap 3, so we're already halfway through the race. We'll have to keep an eye on what the tyres are doing. Andy's got a bit of a gap now to Dan. They cross the line. And Carly is also on her own, and Dan is plugging away at the back in his very nice Adidas liveried Mercedes, as per usual. This season, the drivers do not have to change liveries between rounds if they don't want to, but if they do and they have a fresh livery per race, it puts them in with the opportunity to get the bonus 3 points for the best livery of the night. So most of the drivers are changing liveries, which is great to see. Right, Matt is leading his black Corvette. Really pushing track limits as he tries now to stay out of the reach of Chris. Can Chris close the Chevy down? Just over half the race gone. Unfortunately, with replays we don't get a gap, but it looks to be about 3 or 4 seconds. So let's see what happens there. Both on softs. But what we've seen before is the Mustang is a bit easier on its tyres. So let's watch that. James is still having a cracking race in 3rd. Being closed down a bit by Chris then, his first race in DTCC. They jumped in very late on into one of the few remaining cars that hadn't been chosen. So he's doing a great job in the Aston. And then we've got, it looks like Alex and Daz are still having a battle. Alex is trying to go down the inside into the chicane, but doesn't quite make his stick, and Daz is still hanging out there, but it looks like Alex has got the move done. Yes, he does. They go into, I forget all the names of Spa because they keep changing them. Let me find the names. That was Paul Ferrer. I never get that. I remember Stavelot, but not Paul Ferrer. Right, so Alex is now up to 5th. What else is going on? So let's have a look then. Matt has currently got the fastest lap of a 28.2, but I have a feeling that is going to get blitzed in a 3 or 4 seconds time as they go across the line. So Matt does a 29.5. Chris comes along and does a 27.6, so quite a lot faster. And then we've got now James has now got Chris right on his tail. Let's watch on board with Chris as we go into La Source for the 5th time. Behind, we got a bit of a gap now, so he's quite free to attack James. We go up down the hill and into Eau Rouge. Right, so let's have a look and see what's going on. So Matt did a 29.5, Chris did a 27.6, so Chris is almost 2 seconds a lap faster. There's not a huge gap between them. I think that gap's going to be down to 0 on the last lap. Let's keep watching. James has got Chris behind. Oh, James goes a little bit wide. Is that going to give Chris the place? It does. Unfortunately for James there. Little mistake going to the com, and away Chris goes. So into a podium position in his debut race. Meanwhile, we've got Alex trying to close him down in 5th. There's Daz in 6th. Looks like that's switch over. Yeah, Daz obviously had a bit of a scruffy lap there. Did a 34.6. Andy did a 30.5. And you can see Daz's tyres are starting to go at the front. And Andy's are not looking hugely brilliant because they're in the mediums, but they're in better shape. Similar to Dan's. And Carly is in 9th, a little bit off the pack here, and then Dan is doing a bit of grass cutting. Right, let's have a look at the front. Through campus for the 5th time. You can see there, look, Chris is definitely gaining now. This is going to be a last lap showdown, I think. Can Matt hang on? His tyre wear, let's have a look, his right, left is looking quite worn, but it's actually fairly similar to Little's GP. So Chris and Matt are pretty similar. Chris looks like he's got a bit of a lead there. Well, looks like James, I think, was going a bit wide. I think that might give Alex a chance. Yes, it does. Through goes the Lambo. So Alex is up to 4th, and that'll do him good in his battle with Mike. There's a good battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th going on at the moment in the championship. 6th between Alex, Mike, Dan and Darren, and Carly's not that far off either, so all to play for 3rd. Daz is still in 4th, Andy's in Daz is in 6th, Andy's 7th, Dan 8th, Carly 9th and Dan 10th. Right, here we go then, last lap. Let's see what Chris can see. That Chevy is getting closer. He did a 28.4 on the last lap. Well, Matt's really pushing it, running wide. Matt did 29.3, so it's coming down. Nowhere near as much as the previous lap, but it's coming down. I don't think there's any other battles going on. Let's just have a quick scan through. Chris is on his own, Alex is on his own, James is on his own. Daz has got Andy catching him. Keep an eye on that one. Let's go to the front. Here we go. So last lap, second and 3rd in the championship, and it looks like Chris is now all over the back of Matt as they go into Brussels for the last time. He's super close though. He's trying to nuzzle his way through. They are alongside each other. Matt's going to have the inside for the corner of no name. Keeps it down the inside. So let's watch Chris. Look at that. He's all over the back of Matt. Matt is defending the inside to Pouon. There are no truck of going down the inside of the Pouon there. So here we go. Is Chris going to make a move down the inside of Pouon? That'll be brave, but I don't think there's any room there. As we watch from the back of Matt's car now. Looking at the roof cam down on the Mustang. Who are you supporting? Are you supporting Ford or are you supporting Chevy? Chris is going to try and go around the outside as they come through the chicane. Can't get through there through Campos, so half a lap to go. Into Stavelot for the last time. Matt's tyres are starting to melt. Chris's on a lot better as we go into Paul Ferrer for the last time. I think this is going to come down to the bus stop. Oh, Chris is really pushing as he come out. Here comes that Mustang. What can he do as they go into Blanchimont? Let's come out. Into Blanchimont for the last time. Is Chris going to line him up as they go through the flat out right left-hander into the bus stop? Matt's going to try and defend the inside. Look, he's covering the inside. Chris is going to make a look for the outside. Can he make it stick? He's gone around the outside. Look at that. And Matt tries to get back on him as they go round the... and they're alongside each other as they come across the line. I think Chris is just going to get it. It's going to be super close. Chris gets it from Matt. Wow, what a finish. And Chris, the other Chris, comes on, gets third in his first race. Let's just quickly go back and watch that last lap. See, Matt's covering the inside. And then Chris just brakes a little bit later. Look at that, just moves around the outside. What a nice move. And Matt tries to get alongside as they come out of the chicane. And look at this, there's nothing between them. Across the line they go. Wow, what a race. So Chris gets a great third. Well done, Chris, in his debut. Alex gets a good fourth. It looks like Daz has got James. Has he got James on the line? Let's watch what happened there as well. So James, Daz, look at this audacious move. Well, it's a really late bit of braking, but gets it cleanly done. So a great fifth there on the line from Daz. James is trying to get him as they come across, but not quite. Good sixth though from James. Then seventh was Andy, eighth was Dan. Here comes Carly in ninth. Got to be in it to win it, and some good points still for ninth. And then Dan is coming through. Or do a bit of drifting. Yeah, a bit of drifting. Very nice, Dan. Go on, complete the spin. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. I think he's blown his car up. Go on, Dan. Dan doing a bit of drifting on the last lap through 150 miles an hour. Got to the end. There we go. Right, so what a race that was. So Dan comes across the line and finishes 10th. And decides to spin it across the line. Right, what a race that was. I think it was just over a 10th between first and second. Chris breaks Matt's heart again for the second time this season. Gets it on the line, but a good overtake around the outside of the bus stop. Matt finishes second. So good points. That was a tough race. Chris gets third on his debut. Then Alex gets fourth. So good points for him in his battle with Mike, Dan, Darren and Carly for third in the championship. Daz gets fifth. James is sixth. Andy's seventh. Dan is eighth. Carly ninth. And Dan 10th. Right, that was a cracker. Alright, let's switch to the group threes. So, usual rules with the group threes. It's a reverse grid of the group four finishing order. And we've got the usual tyre strategies in play. Alright, so nice picture of my car. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Right, so Dan is on pole. As I say, the second half of the season where the tyre strategies will start to come into play, where the drivers have to choose between soft, medium and hard. They're one hard for the rest of the season. So different drivers will have different tyres left, depending on how they played the first three races. So Dan is on mediums. He's on pole, and Carly is also on mediums in the Porsche. Dan is on mediums. Andy in the Audi is on mediums. James is on mediums. Daz is on mediums. And then Alex doing something a bit different in the Lambo. He's on softs. Chris is elected to go mediums. Matt is also on softs. Chris is on softs. And then we've got Eduardo joining us for the first time in the Ferrari. He's on mediums. And then Mike was a bit late in, missed the group fours, but he's on mediums on the group three. So we've got 12 in tonight, which is, I think, the best turnout we've had for a long time. Right, so 30 minutes plus a bit. So 14 laps of the wonderful Spa in, I think, dawn. So it will gradually get sunnier. This is one of the tracks in the game where you can get rain, but we're using real world forecasts for all the races this season. And I think it was a nice sunny day in Spa. So no rain expected, but that can all change. Right, so let's go. 30 minutes. Some of those might get stuck at the source when the race starts. Let's have a look. Is everyone going to get clear? Oh no, it looks like some might not, which is a bit of a shame, but Looks like Eduardo was caught there on the exit of the source, but Dan is going to lead us down through Eau Rouge for the first time. I guess a little bit sideways as we go up. Looks like Carly's going to try and get a really nice run already as we go up the hill, through up the Kebble Straight. Can Carly get around the outside of Dan as they go into the braking zone? We've got a battle going on behind as well, so see what goes on here. So, Dan closes the door, goes a little bit wide. Is that going to give Carly the opportunity? No, not quite. So Dan's holding the lead, but he's gone a little bit wide as he comes out of the car. He spins across the line. Oh, you see Andy. I think he hit James. There's carnage going on, unfortunately. Let's just see what's happened. So Dan's ended up pointing sideways. And then what's happened there? It looks like also James has had a bit of a misfortune as well. So let's watch from James' perspective. Looks like, yeah, the Dan goes wide, hits James, who then does a, I don't know how many degree spin. There's Dan. So James unfortunately is down to the bottom, and Eduardo's picking his way through, gains 2 places. Right up at the front, Dan is now leading, but we've got a real big squabble going on here between Carly, Daz and Dan, with Matt in the mix as well. So Carly's in the lead, they go to Pouon. It looks like Daz is trying to get down the inside, but goes a little bit wide, and Matt has snuck up. So Matt is already up to second from pretty much the back of the grid. And then we've got Little's GP also from the back, and we got 3 wide as we go into the chicane into Campos. But in the meantime, Carly is now leading. So it's a CMS Racing 1-2 at the front. Matt is right tucked up behind. Also, I said utter chaos. Yeah, always is on the first lap. So it's what can Matt do about his teammate? He's right on the tail. Let's go on board with on the Porsche driver. Where is her teammate? There he is in a menacing black Corvette. Is he going to try and move around the outside of Blanchimont? No, he thinks better of it. But are we going to get a move into the bus stop as Matt comes down? Looks like Chris and Daz are having a battle as well. So it looks like Matt's taking the lead. It looks like Chris is having a battle with Daz. Daz is going around here. Nice move around the outside there. And it looks like Alex is trying to get involved. Look at this. We got almost 4 abreast as we come into the source. We have got 4 abreast. Who do we follow? Let's follow Little's GP, who's into the leaders in third as they go into the source. Are they all going to get around? I think they are. Wow, look at that. They all get around. Oh no, Alex has got a little bit of a tank slapper on. He's got the power on. And looks like Mike is now going to get past Alex as they come down the hill. That's going to be brave. He does it. And it looks like Eduardo's going to try and get in on the act as well as they go into Eau Rouge. Has he made that stick? He has. Nice move. Alex, I think, backed off. Thought there was better not to dispute that one. And then we've got, so Chris has now got up to third. Daz and the other Chris in the Aston are having a battle as they come into Les Combes for lap 2. Looks like Chris has done it. So Chris is up to 4th, making a very assured debut in DTCC tonight. Daz is down to 5th, and he's in 6th. Kept it quiet so far tonight in the first couple of laps, but you're going to try and make a move. We'll go too wide out there. That's Dragons out. Oh, that Chris has gone wide, so Daz is going to get a move done. In the meantime, between Carly and Chris is trying to go around the outside of Pouon, and then we've got this battle going into Pouon for 5th, and he's got it at the moment. Daz is up to 4th, so Chris has been bundled back down to 6th. You can see how close he is in DTCC. Small error, and he dropped 2 places. Danny's keeping a watch and breathe in his Mitsubishi. In the meantime, up front, so Chris has finally dispatched Carly. So Chris and Matt are going to renew their battle from the Group 4s. Matt in the Corvette, Chris in the Ford. And what's going on here? So Carly's on mediums, and so is Daz. No tyre advantage there. So is Andy. So is Chris. They sweep through into Blanchimont. So we got Carly with Daz. He's going to try and make a move around the outside. We go into the bus stop. He's going to brake latest. Oh, nice move by Daz. He tried to go around the outside, but Carly shuts the door. Oh, that looked a bit squishy. Carly gets put onto the... Oh, Carly loses a few places there. Got put into the grasscrete, and as we can see, going into the source, Who's going to win that battle? Chris goes down the dive down the inside. Oh, Andy gets a little bit of tail happy on the Audi, which is easily done in that car. And so Chris is now back up to 4th. Andy's up to 3rd. So these 4 or 5 have a mighty scrabble for 3rd place. You can say it's tricky corner defenders. You can't go around the outside. Yes. That was, yeah, bus stop is a hard corner to pass at, but we saw Chris could do it. So Daz has now blasted past Chris, and Chris is back down to 3rd. Daz has moved up to 4th. When Andy's gone wide. Daz going to probably lose him. Oh, he comes back on the track. Whoa. I think it's a bit of a dodgy rejoin. In the meantime, Eduardo has now called a lot of them up, so we've got a 7-car squabble for 3rd place. Can Eduardo get down the inside of Daz? He does. So Daz is now down to 6th. And look at this. Eduardo's now up to 3rd. Oh, what happened there? That looked a bit... So Eduardo goes from 6th to 3rd in one corner. Let's see what happened there. Yeah, looks like a bit of a squabble between the Audi and the Aston Martin. And Chris has now dropped down to 7th. So look at this. This is brilliant racing here. Eduardo's now up to 3rd. Daz is 4th. Then we've got Alex has now jumped up to 5th. Andy, who was 3rd, is now down to 6th. And Chris, I think, was 3rd at one point, is now down to 7th. And behind that, we've got... Oh, Eduardo's gone wide. So he went from up to 3rd. He's now back to 7th again. We've got Carly in 8th, who's now squabbling with Dan in 9th. Let's see what happened here as they come through Pouan, having a battle. And then we've got ahead of them as well. We've got Chris... Eduardo, look at changing place. Oh, look at that behind him. Carly and Dan both gone sideways, but let's watch that. That looked like quite a what a catch from the pair of them, I think. Look at this. Oh, the Porsche goes wide, gets the tail out, and the Mitsubishi goes wide. And what's going on behind? So there's Mike just getting his eye back in again after missing the first race. Always difficult to jump straight in. Dan is in 11th, and James is in 12th. So. Oh, I'll try and catch my breath after that. We're already 3 laps down. So Matt crosses the line. This does the fastest lap of the race, a 2:18.0. Chris does a 2:17.8, so 2 tenths between them. They're both on the same tyres, so game on between those two. Daz looks like now he's got himself a little bit of a breathing space in 3rd. Alex has managed to stealthily make his way up to 4th. Went a bit wide there though, so that might give Andy a run as we come down the hill. There's Chris behind us. We drop down the hill to one of the most famous corners in the world. Eau Rouge, and up to Radion. Right. Lambo's getting a bit wayward. And we've got, looks like behind us, Chris is also making a move on the Audi, by the looks of it. So Audi's getting a tow from the Lambo. Oh, Andy's trying to defend on the inside. Chris thinks better of it. And there goes this. There we go. Andy gets through. Nice move from Andy. Let's get out there. Nice. Chris is going to try and make a move. No, thinks better of it. So that's good racing from him. Didn't just stick his nose up the inside and hope. So Andy's back up to 4th. Daz has now got a little bit of breathing space, as we said. Alex is down to 5th. Chris is in 6th. Eduardo's now trying to play catch up again. Now as they come into Pouan, so is Alex going to have a think about having a go into Pouan? It's a brave place to pass if he does. And he's still holding 4th. It looks like Chris is looking very interested at the back of that Lambo. Oh, is he going to make a move? He does. I think, oh, that was quite late. That looked quite late. He's going to try and make a move around the outside though. Is he going to run out of room? Or Alex gives him just enough, but I think that was probably fair. In the meantime, the Ferrari is now catching him up. Here comes the non-leveraged Ferrari of Eduardo. Let's see where he can see. We come through the Kings into Blanchimont for the 4th time. Is he going to make a move as we go into the bus stop? A little bit of a lift there. I think he's too far behind. Yes, he is. Right, so over the line we go. Let's have a bit of a stock check. So Matt is leading still. Just done a 2:18.0, so keeping very consistent in the Chevy. Tyres are starting to go a bit though, as we can see. It'd be interesting to see what these two do. One of the rules we introduced for Season 7 is a sort of form of tyre ballast, tyre penalties. When you come first on the night of a round, the two of your softs you have in your allocation get converted to mediums. If you come second or third on the night, one of your softs in your allocation gets converted to a medium. And what effectively that means is Matt and Chris are on their final 2 sets of softs. So let's see what happens. And effectively, if they lose one of those, if they don't use one of those sets of softs tonight, the 2 they've got left, if they finish first or second on the night, which is probably likely given their first and second here and they were first and second in race 1, they will lose that set of softs. So we may well see first and second, even though it might not be the quickest strategy, they might well just use their softs up. So Matt is leading just under 2:08.0. Chris did a 2:18.6, so 2:18.0 for Matt, 2:18.6 for Matt. Actually pulled 6/10 there. So Chris isn't closing. Does do a 19.5, so he's just done his fastest. He's on mediums though, so he's doing a good job in his mediums. Not that far behind the leaders, and he's on mediums. Andy's just done his PB at 19.9, so a few tenths off Daz. Alex has done a 20.6, so Daz is actually quicker on mediums than Alex is on soft, which is interesting. And Chris is still in 6th, so it looks like the frenetic action has calmed down a little bit. There's a bit of breathing space certainly for Daz and Andy. So as we come through Blanchimont again for the 5th time, but Eduardo starting to shape up to have a move on the Aston. He's that's late if he makes it go through. Oh, that was a little bit late from Eduardo. Tries to make it stick around the outside though, and I think gets it done. So nice bit of driving from Chris there. He gave him room on the exit. Looks like Eduardo. Where's the Aston? Who's going to break last into the hairpin of the source? Is Chris going to try and do the switch? Not quite. Looking from the back of the Ferrari now as we drop down the hill. It looks like there's a squabble going on between Chris and Carly. So Carly probably down behind. Nothing going on there, so let's switch back. Looks like Dan is going to try and make a move. Oh, Porsche gets a lot of grass on the inside. And I think that's probably going to give Dan the run as we come up the hill. Yes, it does. So Dan's through, and let's see what's going on. So Eduardo has managed to defend into Lecom. So he's up to 6th. I'm sure Chris is not going to take that one lying down. We come into downhill right-hander Brussels. Not really an overtaking position. Corner, but it can be done. Right, let's see what's going on elsewhere. So Matt has done an 18.5 and Chris has done now a 17.7. So Chris has now done the fastest lap and was almost a second quicker than Matt. So the gap is coming down. Tyres are looking, the forward's a lot better on its fronts. Well, the rears are similar, but it's a lot better on its front. So the usual story is playing out that the Ford is better on its tyres. But if we look at the fuel, Matt has got about a third of a tank left, probably just over. Whereas Chris has only got a quarter. So the cars, these two are quite even. They're quite nicely matched. That Chris is better on his tyres, Matt is better on his fuel. So let's see how this plays out. Oh, that's a rubbish view. What's happened to? I've completely lost it. Oh, Matt, where's Matt gone? Matt's got in. Matt, there we go. That's why Matt has gone in. So Matt has decided after 6 laps to ditch his first set of softs. And Andy's trying to make a move. Oh, let's watch what he looks like. He's trying to make a move. A very late move. We're a long, long way behind on the Nissan. Oh, I think that might have been just forgot to brake, and I want to avoid hitting you. And he's like, okay, well, Alex is in as well. So Alex and Matt doing the same strategy. What's Dan doing? We haven't seen much of Dan so far tonight. He's going to carry on his mediums, so it's understandable. Carly is carrying on her mediums. Mike is the tyre whisperer, he's carrying on his mediums. James is also still on his mediums, he'll probably keep going. And Chris, so Chris now is on his softs. So Matt will potentially get the undercut on him, and also probably have to put less fuel in, so his stop's going to be shorter. But Chris is going to have at least 1 lap advantage on tyres. So let's see how this one plays out. There's Dad, still doing a solid job in his Nissan. Seems to prefer the Group 3 to the Group 4. Always seems more competitive relative on the Group 3s. Been tracked by Andy. And Chris looks like he's got back past Eduardo again. These two trade in paint as much as hell blazes. So Eduardo's in 5th. And there's Dan in 6th. Carly not far behind. 8th is Mike. Matt has come out in 9th, and as we suspected, he's come out on soft. So Matt is double stinting, well, using 2 sets of softs tonight. As we figured, use it rather than lose them. Can he get his softs to do 8 laps though? That's going to be a push. Obviously deciding the tyre wear is better with less fuel. He's put on, well, about 7/8 of a tank. So let's see what Little's GP does. Coming through Blanchimont now. I would imagine he's going to stop because he's halfway through the race. It makes sense. Rears are looking a bit sketchy. Whoa, goes a bit deep going into the bus stop. And he comes to the pits though. That will probably lost him a second or so. What's Dad's going to do? So yeah, Chris only had 15 litres left. Dad's going to be wide. Tyres are starting to degrade a bit, so Daz is going in now as well. Andy is staying out. Chris is staying out, and so is Eduardo. So Andy takes the lead. Mediums are starting to go a little bit on the Audi, but doing alright. Still doing 19s. So in fact his last lap was only 7,000ths of a second off his quickest. So still got the pace in the Audi. Chris is up to 2nd now. Eduardo's 3rd. Right, let's see, importantly. Chris is now fueling. Where is Matt? Matt is coming through the bus stop. Daz is in now as well, getting rid of those mediums. Let's see where Matt is. Matt is coming down into La Source. Chris is still fueling. It's an uphill exit now. We exit through a route rather than La Source. Here comes Matt. Here comes Chris. Chris is rolling. Matt is coming down the hill. Chris is just getting there. I think Matt is through. There he goes. So Matt is back into the net lead. Where's Chris just coming out? I can't even see that. Matt is gone. Look at that. He's over the top of the crest of the hill and on the Kemmel Straight. Whereas Chris is just coming out of the pits. And he's going to be just in front of James. So that was quite critical. So Chris has made it back out in 8th, but that'll be a net 2nd. But Matt is through the com, so let's see if we can time the gap between those two. So Matt has pulled out quite a lot of time there, you can see. Right, so where are we? 47 to the curb. Oh yes, about 9 seconds gap. So can Chris pull in 9 seconds in 6.5 laps? Let's keep an eye. Right, out front then, Andy is leading. Will he come in? He's going to have to come in. Yeah, his fuel's looking pretty much done. So he'll be in this lap, as will Chris in the Aston, although Chris has got a little bit less fuel. And if he's used less fuel, it probably means he needs less fuel to get to the end as well. So that's going to be very close between those two. Eduardo, he'll be in as well. Good job in the Ferrari. So Andy is in. Chris is in. Eduardo is in. Then we got a battle going on between Dan and Carly. So Dan is in. Carly is going to carry on. So crossing the line should be into the lead for Carly in the Porsche. Still going. Plenty of fuel left. The tyres not looking too bad either. So Carly takes the lead. I think she'll, Andy's just getting into these pits. You can see the pit entrance is ginormous here. Takes them a long time to get to the pits. Eduardo's in. Dan is also in. As the crew probably have their sandwiches and their little picnic, waiting for him to actually finally get in. There's Little's GP. Up to third now. So Carly is leading. There's a Kemmel straight ahead of her teammate, but it's a very long stop here. You can see Matt has just done the fastest lap of the race, so he's pushing hard on those softs straight away. Done a 17.5. Yeah, you can see a pit stop loses you, and he's 2/10 up on this lap as well. So Matt, he's really trying to extend that lead over Chris. Yeah, pit stop loses you approximately, what's that, about over 50 seconds. So we'll see where Carly feeds back in. So Daz is out in 4th, Andy's 5th, Alex is 6th, Chris is 7th. And it looks like, oh, is there going to be a move there? Looks like Alex is getting really close to Andy. Doesn't quite pull it off. And it looks like Chris is could take advantage of that. It looks like Alex went a little bit wide through their comp. So the battle is back on for 3rd again. Net 3rd in the race. These three having a tremendous scrap. And Eduardo's dropped off a little bit. There's Dan. He's in the race with Carly, so let's see where Carly comes out. There's Mike having quite a quiet race tonight. He's back out on softs. There's James on softs as well. So Carly leads. Fuel is looking sketchy, but that will get to the pits just about. I'm sure Carly will let me know last time she led a Group 3 race. You're leading on the road. Into the pits comes the Porsche. Right, so is there anything going on in this battle for 3rd? Yes, there is. Chris is right behind the Lambo. It's a hard place to pass as we come. See, the sun is now just starting to rise. Alex is giving a bit of room, actually. I'm surprised by that. He's offered up the inside. And Chris says, thank you very much, I'll take that. We look from the rear view mirror of the Aston Martin. So up to 6th goes Chris. Whilst Andy is getting away a little bit in 5th. Daz is 4th, but as we said, Carly is going to be dropping probably down to around 8th or 9th. Probably 9th, maybe. She will need less fuel. Dan is not even at the source yet, so let's see what happens between those two. Carly's still fueling. Now it's been released. Let's see if Dan's quite a long way behind, so let's see if... Yeah, it's going to be close. This is going to be super close as they come out of the pits. Carly's out. And here comes Dan. Let's see what we can see. There's the Porsche just rounding the exit. It's a long exit. And so Dan has got the advantage there. But he's going to have older tyres. So he's got soft, so does Carly. So let's watch that. Right. What's going on here? Anything still going on between all? Chris has run a bit wide, but the Lambo's not quite close enough. Right, so let's check what's going on up front. Matt doing mid to high 17s. Chris has now done the fastest lap of the race. He's done a 16.6. Second a lap faster. What did we say the gap was? About 9 seconds. So that gap has now come down to at least 8. And we know the Ford is better on his tyres. You can already see Matt went for that early stop. And his fronts are already starting to be over a third wall and approaching the half almost. Whereas Chris's tyres are looking peachy. Let's keep an eye on that gap. There's Daz. Got a bit of breathing space now to the Audi, but there's not much in it. These are having a fine scrap, these four. Looks like they've dropped Eduardo a little bit. There's Chris going through Blanchimont, followed by the Lambo. There's Eduardo, yeah, he's dropped off a little bit. Right, as we go into the bus stop for the 10th time. 4 laps to go. Certainly, look at that. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, always the same shot. And Eduardo's not that far behind either. And he looks like he's slowly closing on the Nissan. And he's on softs. So is Daz, so they're all on soft. Daz has done his PB of a 19.1. Andy's done an 18.2. So Andy is almost a second a lap faster. Closing in on the Nissan in front of him. Fuel pretty similar. They go into their com. Oh, looks like Andy was getting a bit sideways as he came out. Yeah, he lost a little bit of their time there, but you see how close it is between these guys. One mistake and they can... Daz could drop 3 positions here. Eduardo's trying to play catch up. He's just done his PB as well, 19.5. There's Dan, done his PB of a 24. Looks like he's got made a little bit of a hesitation there coming out of their com. Looks like he got a bit sideways, so that'll give Carly some encouragement. And we've got Carly and Mike are having a battle now as well. So there's everyone's quite close. And James, so we've lost. Who we lost? We lost Dan, unfortunately. Right. To the leaders. Matt comes through Blanchimont. Let's see what he does. Can we see Chris yet? Not yet. So the gap is coming down. Matt goes through the bus stop. Where's Chris? There he is. Whoa, taking a lot of curve through there. So Matt does a 18.5. Chris comes across the line, does a 16.5. So Chris, oh no, that was the previous lap, must be, maybe. Does 17.1. So he's into the 17s, but Matt's in the 18s. So Chris is coming at Matt a second half a lap, and though he can see him now. 3 laps to go. Looks like we're having a repeat of the Group 4. Matt is leading, has been leading in most of the race. Chris is coming at him. And then we've got this awesome scrap here. So Daz in 3rd, Andy 4th, Chris in 5th, Alex in 6th. So Eduardo's dropped off a little bit. Yeah, he's had another little, few little adventures probably in that lap as well. And Dan comes across the line, and then we've got Mike and Carly. Let's go on board with Mike. But actually we're going to skip forward because it looks like we've got... No, we haven't. I thought there was going to be a bit more of a scrap there than that. So it doesn't look like anything's going on there. And he's getting close. Let's have a quick look down the field. Can Mike have a go at the Porsche? No, there's a bit of a gap there as well. They go up over Radion. Right, so let's go back to Andy Daz. Just sizing each other up by the looks of it. Well, Andy's getting close. They come out of a corner with no name, which is actually one of my favourite corners. Into Pool we go, bit of a lift, downshift. Try and get back on the power as quickly as we can. That was a nice run out there. Are we going to make a move as we go into Stavelot? No, Daz covers it off. Through, that wasn't Stavelot, was it? That was Campos. Right, now in the Stavelot. Daz covering the inside a bit. Doesn't give Andy the opportunity to switch a route. It's not that easy as we go through Paul. Now we're going to have a... What can the Nissan do to protect itself as we come into Blanchimont? It's not a very easy place to pass. Daz is covering the inside as we come through this flat out. They both go really wide. Andy goes even wider. Daz is going to cover the inside as we go into the bus stop. Is Andy going to make a move? No, he isn't. Goes a little bit wide, and Chris is looking at this now thinking, yeah, this is great. It's now a 3-way tussle. We've got a little bit of a gap now, so Chris is free to attack the 2 in front of him. As we go on to the penultimate lap. mega three-way battle going. Look at that, they're all shaking their hips and wiggling their pips as they come out of the source. Right, is the Aston going to have a move? That's brave there, and he tries to makes a real feint to cover the inside, but there was no way that was going to go work through Old Rouge. Right, let's go on board with the Aston driver. We go up the long camel straight into the com. He's unlucky that Audi's quicker in the straight line. He's going to open the Nissan. Nothing doing there, but oh, looks like Daz and Andy had a slight touch. Oh, let's watch that again. Let's watch that from... Did Andy... I think there was a slight bit... Oh, yeah, that was a bit of a weird one. Oh, that's unlucky on Daz. Looks like a bit of a weird game glitch sometimes happens with a damage model. Or the collision model. Andy gave him a slight little tap, and that was just enough to send Daz into the wall. So Daz unfortunately drops down to 5th. And he's got Alex right behind him now. Let's have a look. So to the front we go, and Matt is getting closed down. Chris is coming at him. Matt's tyres are starting to go because his front left is looking pretty shocking. And back we go to 3rd and 4th. Matt's looking tight as well. Daz, unfortunately, that was a great scrap he was having there. He's just been very unlucky and has dropped down to 5th. And he's now got the fire on his hands to keep the Lambo behind him, but Alex's rear looks horrific. That is going to not last the next lap and a half, I imagine. Right, so Dan is still in 7th now. Carly is in 8th. Still got Mike behind, having a good scrap in 9th, and James is 10th. Right, here we go then. Last lap. And we've got a repeat of the Group 4s. Matt leads into the last lap. Chris's tyres are looking a lot better. Matt's got to keep it neat and tidy. Chris gets a wiggle on. Let's have a quick look what's going on in 3rd. It looks like Andy's got a bit of a gap. Probably about 3 tenths. Right, so let's watch here. Here comes Little's GP. That Ford is super quick on the straights. Oh, just a little bit of a cut through Radion. Can we get the Chevy as we go up the Camel Straight? Matt is defending. They go into the com for the last time. Chris isn't going to get around the outside. Yeah, actually lifted, I think, to not use the advantage of the car radio. Right, so what can Matt do? He's got the Ford right on his tail as we come down to the Russells for the last time. Come on, get the right button here we go. Right, how they go. The Chevy's tyres are looking pretty gnarly. They're both tyre on fuel, but they'll be fine. Through the corner with No Name before the last time. Let's just see. So we got a battle here. Andy and Chris are still battling as well. So we got a battle for 1st, and we've got a battle for 3rd. Let's go back to the front though. Through Paul for the last time. Matt is still in the lead. Can Chris do anything about it? The Ford GT is super quick down the straight through the Campos for the last time, and then we look behind. Andy and Chris are still fighting as they go into Pouon. Right, into Blanchimont. This is the key bit. Can Matt get a good drive as he comes through Paul Ferrer? The tyres will be wilting. Gets on the power. Andy and Chris are still side by neck and neck as they go into Campos. But here we go. This is the run. As we go through into Blanchimont. Can Chris do anything about the Chevy? Let's go. Outboards, they come into the bus stop chicane for the last time. Chris has got the tyre advantage. Matt's defending in the inside. Chris is going to try and make a move down the outside again. They touch panels. Chris is going around the outside again. Oh, he gets a bit sideways. Matt tries to squeeze him, and Chris has done it again on the last corner. Again, gets the win. Wow, what a race. Right, let's watch that back again from Chris's car. Go on board as we go through Blanchimont. A little bit of a lift, trying to get a run. Matt stays to the inside. Chris is going to drive round us on the outside. There he is. He's gone around the outside. Matt tries to give him a little bit of a squeeze. And look at that again. On the line. Another fantastic race. Right, let's see what's going on for 3rd. Chris is right on the tail of the Audi as they come through Blanchimont. So we've got a repeat battle for 3rd now. What can Chris do? Can he get another podium on his first race with DTCC? He's so close, and he's he's trying to keep the inside, but he sort of sticks in the middle. Chris dives down the inside. Looks like he's got it stuck. Yes, he has, and he's trying to get around the outside. Oh, he's so close. Chris gives him room. Who's going to get it? It's Chris. Look at that. What a race between third and fourth as well. So Chris gets the last spot on the podium. Daz, very unlucky, was well up there, could have been third, he finishes fifth. Oh, whilst we've got a battle here between Carly and Mike as well. So what happened to Alex? Alex is gone. I think Alex's tyres are absolutely shot. So Dan's going to get sixth on the line. Carly gets a good seventh. Mike gets eighth. And look at that. Oh, unfortunately, as we thought, the Lambo has lost its rears completely, and effectively he's driving on ice now. Can James get him? Can Alex get the power down? I'd whack the traction control up to 5 there, Alex. So Alex fishtails his way across the line and gets 9th. And James coming into the bus stop for the last time. I'm going to have no voice tomorrow. And Superman comes across the line in 10th. What a pair of races. There we go. Right. Chris takes the win again on the last lap around the outside of the bus stop. Repeats the Group 4 race move. And fastest lap as well. So a great drive there from Chris. Gets first. Matt was taken again. He led. I think he led all bar 2 laps of the entire evening. And unfortunately it was the 2 laps that... count. I was like saying worst car for tyres, Matt. Yes, the Chevy is quite hard on its tyres. So second note, good race between the pair of them. That's 2 really good races. In fact, 3 really good races that Chris and Matt have had this season. Then Chris gets third, another podium in his debut. So a great third place on the night for Chris. Welcome to DTCC. Then Andy, a good fight in fourth in the Audi. His tyres were starting to look pretty ropey as well. You can see the difference in Chris and Andy's tyres. And Daz did a good job in fifth, was unlucky. Had a great cracking 4-5 car battle for third there. So he finishes fifth. Dan comes home sixth. Should keep him in the hunt for the battle for third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh in the championship. Carly gets seventh. That's good points for CMS Racing. Mike finishes eighth. It's a bit of a low-key McLaren night tonight for Mike. Missed the first race. Alex just about slivers home in 9th. And James is 10th. So there we have it. That is round 5 of DTCC. Round 6 is a new track for DTCC. It's a new track for the game, GT7. Well, GT7 is a new track. Grand Valley Highway. And that happened last night. So I'll stream that very soon. So we'll see you again for another stream for round 6 of DTCC. I think every race has been a cracker so far. So let's see what round 6 has got in store. Thank you for watching. Thanks for the comments in the chat, and we'll see you again soon.